favor?
Let's do it.
Good Shabbos, everyone. Welcome, everyone. For those I don't know, I'm Jen Moses, and I am so honored to be leading services tonight with Daniela's. And we're just going to sing a Nigun, warm ourselves up. Shabbat Shalom. It is so great for me to be here back in Aspen with all of you. We're in this interesting period of time. It's definitely gorgeous out and it's spring, but it's still kind of off season. Some of my favorite snowbirds are back in town. Welcome back. But it's this in-between moment. We had high school graduation, we've been through Shavuot, but it's not quite summer yet. So it's a great Shabbat to think about what happened this winter and spring for me, what was great that I really want to carry on with, what really wasn't so great and I want to put down. And that's how we enter Shabbat, is what do we want to keep and what do we want to tuck away. So let's start on page 2 by lighted candles and call up Janet Cord and Steve Handler. Please. You don't have to have your book, you can have this right here. Good. There you go.
She's really good at my age. Perfect.
Impressive. Anu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Thank you. Let's sing Shalom Aleichem together, which is on page
24.
24. Thank you.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Hochem L'Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Ni L'Shalom Malachei HaShalom Malachei Elyon. Ni Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzitchem L'Shalom Malachei HaShalom Malachei Elyon. Ni Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
We're into Kabbalah Shabbat, and now we're going to sing Romamu, which is on page 17, the last paragraph. This is one of the Psalms of the day that bring us into Shabbat.
Romemu Adonai Eloheinu V'ishtachavu lehakodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu V'ishtachavu lehakodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu V'ishtachavu lehakodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu V'ishtachavu lehakodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu
turn to Lecha Dodi, which is the prayer that was written by the Kabbalists in Sfat in the 17th century. They would dress in white, they'd run out into the fields because they really envisioned Shabbat as the remarriage of God and the Jewish people every single week. It seems to be a law in all Reformed congregations that we do verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. On verse 9, we're all going to stand and face the door as if we can see the bride of Shabbat herself come in. Page 20, Lecha Dodi.
Ay, nay, nay, ay, ay, nay. Ay, nay, 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 ay, nay. Ay, nay, 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 ay, nay. Ay, ay, nay, nay, ay, na, 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 ay, na, 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 na. Ay, na, nay, nay, ay, nay. Ay, ay, nay, nay, ay, nay. Ay, na, nay, 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 ay, nay, nay, nay. Lecha Dodi, לקראת גלה, פני שבת נקבלה. lecha Dodi, לקראת גלה, פני שבת נקבלה. שמעו וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד, שמו אחד, לשם ותפארת ולתהילה. lecha Dodi, לקראת גלה, פני שבת נקבלה. lecha Dodi, לקראת גלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. lecha Dodi, לקראת גלה, פני שבת נקבלה. lecha Dodi, לקראת גלה, פני שבת נקבלה. verse 5. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי בעורק ומאורי, אורי אורי שדברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. lecha Dodi, לקראת גלה, פני שבת נקבלה. lecha Dodi, לקראת גלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי בשלום עצרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. lecha Dodi, לקראת גלה, פני שבת נקבלה. lecha Dodi, לקראת גלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Yidira nay nay nay, yidira nay nay nay, yidira nay nay nay, ay na na nay na 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 na, yidira nay nay nay, yidira nay nay nay, yidira nay nay nay, ay nay nay nay.
Remain standing if you're able as we turn to page 28 and start the blessings for the Shema, the Baruch Hu.
Yada nay nay nay, 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 yada dai dai dai, yada dai dai dai. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Le'olam va'ed. Yada dai dai dai, 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 yada dai dai dai.
You may be seated. We now go to page 30 for Ma'ariv Aravim, thanking God for bringing day into night and night into day.
We'll sing Roll Into Dark. The English is pretty easy to catch on to, but the Hebrew part is about halfway in the middle of the paragraph. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Hebrew. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Baruch atah Adonai HaMa'ariv Aravim.
We turn to page 34 for the Shema, and we chant together.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha ubechol nafshecha ubechol me'otecha vehayu hadevarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha vishinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'beitecha uvlechtecha havaderech u'shachbecha uvkumecha uvshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. We turn to page 40 for the Mi Chamocha. Who is like you, Adonai?
Yai lai lai ya lai la 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 lai yai lai lai ya lai la 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 lai lai ya lai la lai ya lai la 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 lai la 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 lai lai ya la 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 lai. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha neta b'kodesh, Nora tehilo rosei velen, Nora tehilo rosei velen. Malchutecha ra'u banecha, Bokeim lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, Ze Elianu be'amu, Ze Elianu be'amu. Adonai Eloheinu le'olam ba'ed, Adonai Eloheinu le'olam ba'ed. Yai lai lai ya lai la 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 yai lai lai ya lai la 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 ya lai la la ya lai la 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 ya la 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 la.
And now we turn to two prayers that we only say on Shabbat. Hashkivenu on page 42 is a prayer that God guard us at night so that we might wake up in the morning. Pretty simple. Page 42.
Shalom, 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 Ashkivenu. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Ushmor tzedteinu uvoenu lechaim u'shalom me'ata ve'ad olam. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Shalom, shalom, shalom.
Geshamru is on the top of page 44. Instruction from the Torah on keeping the Sabbath.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות ברית עולם.
This is the words from Torah that gave us the weekend. Just want to point out what that Jewish innovation. All right, people, we're at the central prayer, the Amidah, the Tefillah. Please rise if you're able and turn to page 46. We're going to together sing the Adonai Sifatai Tiftach, and then we'll sing out loud the first three blessings and then pray silently. You can follow along on pages 50 to 62, or you can just say what's in your heart. Page 46.
Sifatai Tiftach Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha Adonai Sifatai Tiftach
Pray together on the top of page 48.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot V'imahot, U'mevii Goel Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol Atavra Ve'Hoshia, Morid Hatal, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechayeh HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofeh Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Micha Mocha Baal Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memit Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman Atah L'Hachayot Hakol, Baruch Atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol.
You can now pray silently and sit down when you're finished. Sing together Shalom Robin, page 60.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov b'necha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים Shalom Rahav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam Tasim Leolam Tasim Leolam.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
This week, we read Parsha Naso from Bamidbar, the book of Numbers. This Parsha contains one of the most complicated and difficult to process stories in all of Torah for me and for many others. The story of the Sota, the woman who strays. These verses describe a situation where a husband believes his wife has had sexual relations with another man voluntarily, but there are no witnesses. If, as the Torah says, the husband is overcome with a fit of jealousy, he brings his wife to the priest, and she is forced to drink bitter waters. If the bitter waters do not affect the woman, she is acquitted of the alleged adultery. If her thigh sags and her belly distends, she is convicted of the crime of adultery and becomes, quote unquote, a curse among the people. There is so much that is troubling about this passage. First, in Jewish law, there must be 2 witnesses in a capital case, and the accused may defend himself or herself. Here, there are no witnesses. An accused woman undergoes a dramatic, absurd ritual that determines the rest of her life. There is no due process. She remains mute. Second, there is no companion passage if a wife believes her husband has committed adultery and she is overcome with a fit of jealousy. The concept of the sota, the verb root shin tet he, appears only here in the Torah, and it is only applied to women. This ritual is not just written about in the Torah, of course. There is an entire book of Talmud called Sota devoted to this. The rabbis found ways to get around the 2-witness rule and settle for 1 witness, or even just the testimony of the jealous husband. The rabbis add further degradation. The woman's hair should be uncovered and her clothes ripped, even if she protests her innocence. Sadly, even modern commentators can look the other way. Lord Rabbi Jonathan Sacks, whom I quote often, has 11 sermons on his legacy website on Parsha Naso. In only one does he mention the sota, and then only in passing. How do contemporary feminist scholars approach the sota? In the Women's Torah Commentary, Judith Hauptman offers 3 approaches. The first is to interpret the passages in the context of their time and place. The sota ritual is in keeping with other Near Eastern texts contemporary with the Torah. It's not just contemporaneous texts. The Salem witch trials of the late 17th century had equally absurd tests to determine if someone was in fact possessed by demons or devils. The second approach is to acknowledge the pain and move on. The ritual is no longer in place, thank goodness for all of us. We can take solace from the fact that in the entire body of rabbinic literature, there is only one example of its implementation, although it was still being written about during medieval times based on fragments found in the Cairo Geniza. We can look to Mishnah Sota chapter 9, where Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai abandons the practice because it isn't working. Adultery proliferated in this era. We can take comfort from the fact that it wasn't frequently observed and eventually disappeared. Or we can grapple with the meaning of the sota. Judith Plaskow, in her book Standing Again at Sinai, rails against the exclusion of women from the Torah narrative. Last week on Shavuot,
the same holiday on which we read the inspiring, beautiful story of two women's loyalty and faith in the book of Ruth. We also read in Torah, as preparation for receiving Torah at Sinai, do not go near a woman. Were women even at Sinai? Are we part of the Jewish people in the deepest sense of the word if we are considered impure, if we are considered sources of defilement? If we are not counted in the census that begins this book of Torah? Plasko insists we reshape Jewish memory to put everyone, men, women, straight, gay, everyone, in the narrative. The story of the Sotah is no different. It showed the fear the rabbis had of women's power, their fear that women could have uncontrolled sexuality and not listen to their husbands. The fact that the practice disappeared tells us this: religious law and ritual changes when things get worse. The humiliation of the Sotah did not have the intended effect. It was possibly used only once and eventually discarded. We ourselves, in our own lives and times, continue to have an impact on how Jewish texts are read and how we practice Judaism as we bend the arc towards justice, a justice for all types of people. Our Torah is precious, and its interpretation is not set in stone. The Sotah is still in Parsha Naso, and I can't get rid of it. But my prayer is that may all of us contribute to our always evolving tradition by reading carefully, wrestling with texts that anger us, confuse us, and make us wonder what to do with them as a way to building a more equal and moral understanding of what is right and what is wrong. Shabbos. I'm now going to ask Rav Ritvo. Steve. You said Ritvo was the Sephardic for Rav, so I gave you a promotion. Rav. We're going to do a Misha Barak, so I'm going to ask you all to rise. And this is the prayer that we say when there is someone in our lives, in our community, who is in need of healing. It could be physical, it could be mental, it could be anything. It could be for yourself. Before I read the names aloud, I'm going to ask that if you have names you want to add, that you share them.
Andrew Steinberger.
Tonight we're thinking of Dorothy Morrison, Dwayne and Sharon Williams, Larry Bogatz, Elsie Camargo, Debbie Robertson, Kim Rosenstein, Carol Kafin, David Clark, E.J. Williams, Harav Miriam Yael Batsara, Noam Avraham ben Atara Shlomit, Brenda Stern, Warren Klein, Mary Claire Garrity, John Crystal, Jeff Siegel, Jane Sheff, Bob Rothenberg, Sakura Fabijanek, Lane Fabijanek, Sarah Bat Label Wolf Babacha, Malka Bat Menashe Yitzchak v'Rachel Leah, Abraham ben Mordechai, Yehudis Bas Miriam, Carolyn Jacobs, Patrick McBride, Bobby Zachariah, Ronan Ben Chaya, Paulie Tuig, Susie Bitz Adler, Leslie Lauvitz, Barbara Goldstein, and Rob Levitt. And we're going to do something really crazy. We are not going to use the traditional Debbie Friedman tune. Do not tell Rabbi Shira. Don't tell. It's our secret. But Dan's going to bring a different tune for us tonight. And I know you're not going to know all the words, but just bear with me and just think about these people who could use our love.
So we'll bring Nefesh Mountain's Tree of Life melody. They wrote it after the Pittsburgh synagogue shooting. And it's a really beautiful melody. Yeah, like Jen said, you won't know all the words for the verses, but we'll have a hook that we'll come back to of Ana El Na Rifana La, which means, please God, heal her now. Oh, sweet Spirit, hear my prayer. Help these words heal someone out there. I am but a voice, just a cry in the air, but I sing nonetheless in this pain we share. Oh, sweet friends, come and dry your eyes, pull each other by this tree of life. I'm angry and tired of this great divide, but I sing nonetheless with love on our side. Ana elna rifanala. Ana elna rifanala. Ana elna rifanala. Oh, sweet souls who feel broken now, we'll heal together somewhere, somehow. Time and again we have been let down, but we sing nonetheless, still whole and still proud.
Thank you. You can be seated. I think we are lucky enough to have Rabbi Shireen Sarek in the house.
She just walked out.
She just walked out. We'll do announcements later. Okay. Then, unfortunately, I'm going to ask you to stand up again once the Torah is closed in the Ark for the Aleinu. We're going to be on page 282, and then move to the last 4 lines in 284, and then the grand finish. Please rise. It's okay. I have it for you, but it's okay. We'll wait. Come here. I have announcements for you. Relax. But you're going to wait. We're going to do the Aleinu now. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol latei kedula liotzer breshit shelo asanu kigayei haratzot velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama shelo sam chelkenu kahen v'gohor aleinu kechol hamonam ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שהוא נוטה שמיים ביוצא הארץ ומותן יקרו בשמיים ממעל ושכינתו זאת Elohim, Hu Eloheinu Ein Od, Emet Malkeinu Efesu Lato, Kakatu V'Torato, B'Yadat Hayom, B'Yadat Hayom.
seated. And now Rabbi Shireen is going to read the announcements.
Sorry, I was heating up your falafel for the oneg. So services next week, June 5th, will be led by Rabbi Sima with musical accompaniment Sophia and Mike. And I'll be leading a double afruf next Friday night, celebrating the upcoming weddings of two couples in our congregation, Sarah Farr and Matt Kane, and Tika Carlson and Sam Ginn. For our younger families, next Saturday, June 6th, we have a Tot Shabbat, Shabbat Sings, and it'll be hosted by Lindsay, our new executive director, at her home in Glenwood Springs. You can find more information about that, although I don't see any tots. You can spread information about that.
Spread the tots.
Or email Rabbi Sima. For our older members, I'm not looking around the room, the next session of Art of Aging is on Wednesday, June 11th at 11 in the morning at the home of Marty Manasevitz in Missouri Heights. And a new program for older singles, Solo Seniors Social Club, launches on Sunday, June 14th at 12 p.m. with a barbecue hosted by Karen Barch in Basalt. And summer is coming, so join us at Camp Beshert for Shabbat on June 19th. Family fun time and cocktails and conversation starts at 4:45 with services at 6, followed by dinner. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. We now turn to Kaddish Tome on page 294. If there is anyone here who is in Shiva or Shoshim or in the first 12 months of having lost a loved one, please rise. If there is anyone who is here for a yahrzeit, tonight we are remembering Alice Klein, Carol Mann, Henry Maringer, Alma Guerra, Ellen Perlmutter, Edward Stengel, Gideon Kaufman, Nick Vitti, Suzanne Scott, Hal Thaw, Debbie Bannon, Barry Wallach, Tracy Albers, Jerome Aresti, Irving Friedman, Jonah Goldrich, Carol Cafferson, Leonard Lauder, Rosalind Maringer, and Jerome Rogoff. If it's your custom, please rise on page 294. We chant together.
Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah,
Amen.
B'yamad divrach yotei v'yamich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach be'olam ulamei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei kudsha berechu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'almal v'yimru Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min Shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru Amen.
May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, Amen.
Amen.
You may be seated. We'll finish with Oseh Shalom, which is also on 294.
Oseh shalom b'mromav Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav Yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru Amen. Hey. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ויתנו אמן ויתנו ויתנו
Shabbat Shalom. We're going to do Kiddush right here. I want to thank Ann and John and Shireen for their help. And thank you, Dan. As always, a joy.
My pleasure.
Come join us. We're just going to do quick blessings.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.